Did you say washing your hair is exhausting? I do think it's exhausting.
Yes. I have additional hair recently, so it adds a little bit. It adds a little extra. But I am someone that will try as long as possible to make it last.
No, I think...
Like, how long do you go? You probably have to wash pretty often.
No, I go like 5 days.
Me too.
I'm pushing that shit.
Yeah.
I hate washing my hair.
Yeah.
Don't you?
I do. I agree with that. I told you I try to last as long as humanly possible. Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Candace.
And welcome to Don't Start.
And as we like to say, don't start.
Candace, save it for the show.
Exactly. So let's get to it.
And I don't use dry shampoo, do you?
Dry shampoo confuses me.
Yeah.
I don't understand how or when I'm supposed to use it.
When your hair's greasy.
You're supposed to use it when you're right. Yeah, I know. But then when I use it, I feel like it cakes up. So maybe I'm buying shitty kinds.
Wait, so my question was, were you back in the day when you would just use the talcum powder, baby powder in your roots?
No, I didn't use anything. I just washed my hair.
Well, you probably can't because you have dark hair.
I don't know. I didn't do it. My sister's the queen of dry shampoo.
Yeah, no, people that love it are obsessed. I don't dry shampoo. I don't do it either. But I also think my hair is so blonde and bleached out that it doesn't really get oily. It just gets dry and... Because it's dried out.
I get it, but no. When you said talcum powder, by the way, and then you said...
Is that the right thing? Baby powder.
It is. And then you said baby powder. I had this flashback of my mother throwing baby powder all over our bodies. And then 10 years later, lawsuit, cancer. My mom's like, I shoved that stuff everywhere.
Isn't that nuts?
It was nuts. It was the thing you were allowed to use.
Yeah.
That was totally, by the way, worked. You didn't get any chafing. You didn't sweat. It was phenomenal. Yeah. And then it was and it's going to kill you and your ovaries. And you were like, shit.
This is
we used
for
it.
babies.
I know.
But it's still out there, isn't it?
Yeah, and my mother kind of wants to buy it each time we're at the store, where it could be. And she goes, I could get it. It's probably better now. I was like, no, Mom, big lawsuit. And science shows it's not good for our internal organs.
Okay.
Our female organs especially.
We're not doing it.
But we
not
used
doing
to put that
You
shit
had
everywhere.
a very busy weekend. You were doing everything under the sun. Now, my question is, Chad and I keep getting this from people, and they're just like, summer's over. And we're like, wait, what?
My sister said that to me this morning.
Everybody keeps, I think it's kids going to school.
I will say, I've grew up in a family of teachers. So August, that first week's okay. That second, third week, everyone starts to get anxiety. Oh my God, it's coming. It's almost done. That's it. School's starting. And I feel it. But
Our
that's
neighbors
not the case.
have said it to us. I got a text message from a girlfriend that it's over.
Summer is not over.
And I was like, well, my nieces go back to school tomorrow.
Okay.
Literally in Florida. That's how it goes.
It's great.
Is it great? I think that parents think that, right? We're like, go.
Because it's still nice out, and they're like, we can maybe have a little time for ourselves.
Yeah, walk on the beach or something like that. But I just remember in California, also Florida, but all over, September, October is some of the most beautiful time.
Yes, and I will say, living in California, that school started way early. Right? It was early August. Where
you think earlier than Florida? So what's today? August what?
We're at the 11th-ish. So I feel like...
It's mid. It's not early.
It's not early. But I feel like California's starting... We don't start over in the East Coast till that first week of September.
After Labor Day.
Always after Labor Day. It's the stress of having that last barbecue.
And then we're out after Memorial.
That's right. That's right.
Which is actually a good way to remember that.
I always remembered it that way. I was very confused when I moved to Los Angeles. I was like, wait, why are they going back? It's August. But I will say, we are going to have a hot September. I feel it. So that means those kids go back to school and it's 90 degrees. But I'm okay with it.
Yeah, they got AC in classrooms.
I need the warmth to stay a little bit.
What is baby Mav doing this year for school?
You know what? He's not...
How old is he?
Yet. No,
Yeah,
he's only 16 months.
Yeah.
So I tried to
Oh my gosh, the months.
The months.
Moms and counting their baby's age in months, but I guess that's doctor stuff, right?
No, I have a thing about that. Before I had a child, I was like, I am never
doing
gonna
the
be
months.
16 months.
That's how I feel.
So dumb. And then I had a child.
And you're month to month.
The doctor only talks to you in months. Where's your child at? Milestones are by the months. So now...
By the months?
By the months.
Wait, do you know what you're saying?
By the months.
The months.
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 Am I not saying it?
You said it so Jersey.
Oh, well, yeah.
By the months.
Oh, let's...
MOTS.
Let's be serious.
That was funny.
That's never going to come out right. But I just feel like if I said, oh, my child's a year old, the doctor would have been like, he's behind. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, he's 9 months. Like, you know what I mean? Like that sort of thing.
Okay.
So now I find myself saying the freaking months. Also, my child's large, so he's a big kid. So if I say he's good, like a year old, parents are like, what? I'm like, I'm sorry, he's 16 months. I don't know. You know.
Yeah, there you go.
Thing. So
you think you're not going to in the months.
Yeah, but he can't do anything yet. He's too little. So I'm doing like music class and
which is so great.
Right. And so fun. But it's work on the parents.
Talk about music class. My nieces started piano and I think they were doing singing. It was one of the gifts I got them was like doing a couple music classes. But they're like 8 and 10. And I feel like learning rhythm should start at like a baby age. I know that my mom had Mark and I in that, just like basic, like clapping to the
100%.
beat, walking to the beat. I guess that's dance as well. But like trying to explain to Maddie like what beat? Time signature is. And I was like, this is very complicated. But I was like in everything with like piano, flute, recorder, singing, dancing.
That's good. We did it early too. We were by 3. I was in a dance class, but we do the joke with Maverick that he presses his little like piano and it makes music, and we shake our heads to the rhythm. We go, "You got the rhythm," and now lately he's been doing it on the rhythm.
Oh, I love
that.
Like,
please don't be uncoordinated. I won't make it. He has to be coordinated.
I would say that I always question if Chad has rhythm.
Does he dance?
He wiggles. He wiggles. He does the jam band wiggle.
You know what?
He does
that's
like
the normal
happy wiggles.
But that's the normal, and because I'm married to someone who like spreads out on the dance floor,
right?
I only go.
He
do they dance?
Jazz runs across the dance floor.
Out. Like he doesn't care who's watching.
Yeah.
But I do think that most men do wiggle and have a little rhythm, so I think it's okay.
Right. But I like want to clap to the beat, and he doesn't. I don't even think he wants to play the game with me. I'm like, all right, Chad.
But it's just like a basketball bouncing.
Where's the beat? Maybe that's why he likes jam bands. They just go and they don't stop.
But there's a beat there, isn't there?
There has to be. Yeah. But these are like jazz musicians. They're so brilliant.
I know what you're saying. There's no start and finish. It's just go.
It makes my mind crazy because I love organized music.
Too much for me too.
A B A B C A B.
I need a bridge. I need a verse. I need a chorus.
Yes.
I'm with you.
So like when I'm like they're jamming for 8 minutes, I'm like, but where is the chorus?
You know what? I think I would be stressed as the musician. As a musician going, so how much longer do we go? Like, you're right, I need a start and a finish.
And they don't. They'll just keep jamming. They will jam.
Interesting. So, okay, so we put kids in music. Yeah. Don't you also think, like, as a child, you should be in, like, athletic things? Like, my poor mom is such an athletic woman that she was great at baseball, softball. She put us in it. Kelly and I were so bad that we went right back to dance.
Okay, so that's what I was going to say to you is that as much as you were talking about coordination, like knowing the beat, Chad's extremely coordinated with surfing, with baseball, with sports. I played sports too.
Yeah.
I played soccer. I loved soccer.
Yeah.
But I think coordination could come in different ways.
And I have to know something.
Did Tom just yell for you?
Oh, I think he yelled because my child ate something.
Okay.
They went, yay, or he hit the ball on the swing thing.
Thought he went can.
He probably did can.
Yeah.
But that being said, I feel like athleticism starts young. And I do think in girls, if you're athletic, it's at a young age. And our guest today is super athletic.
No, she's next level. She's a superwoman.
Like, I want to know if she was athletic as a kid. I was so bad.
Okay, well, today we are talking about a true trailblazer in sports and entertainment, and in sports entertainment. She's 5 feet, but let me tell you, she can conquer anything. She's a D1 gymnast. She made history in 2014 as American Ninja Warrior, the first ever woman to ever complete both a city qualifier and city finals course. I watched it this morning and I was cheering in my kitchen and getting emotional. Seeing a woman accomplish anything makes me lose my, but especially something in a male-dominated, being the first woman ever. I know her from WWE. She was a former WWE superstar, a 2-time women's tag team champion.
She's amazing.
Oh, yeah. And it's coming full circle because tonight after we interview her, Kacy is going to be back at the American Ninja Warrior because she's going to be on commentary.
That's amazing.
So she's extraordinary competitor, but she's also incredible sweetheart, and I can't wait for you to meet her.
I'm really excited.
She's known as Mighty Kacy.
Well, yeah, short and mighty, like this little thing has got all this strength.
Let's bring Kacy Catanzaro in and let's chat about what she's accomplished and what she will continue to accomplish because she's engaged too.
Stop it.
I know.
All right, bring her in.
Hello.
Hi, gorgeous.
Hello.
Your
Hi,
hair
lady.
looks
Hold on, let me see.
so
Can you hear me?
beautiful.
Can you see me? Let me put
Yes.
this up.
We have plants and vegetation behind you.
Yes, they're fake. I'm in my like Florida room patio. So
No, you
it
look
has a
so
like, that's-
fabulous. I'm so
How
happy
are-
to see you. It's always hard seeing your friends via like
I
video. You're like,
know.
wait, I want to feel and touch you.
It's even weirder meeting someone through
Yeah.
Zoom. I'm like, hi.
Kacy, this is Candace. Meet each other.
Oh my God, I'm so excited you're here. Thank you for joining us.
Kacy, how perfect is it that tonight you're back on American Ninja Warrior and we get to interview you today?
Wow.
I know. I woke up like this is such an exciting day today.
As you should. It's amazing how much you've accomplished since you were the first woman to complete the finals course in 2014. Can you imagine how quick time has gone?
It honestly feels like a different lifetime ago. It feels like 4 different lives
Yes.
in one. Now I'm here
Yes.
and we talk about it and I'm like, that was me. Okay,
Yeah.
that was a while ago. It just feels so different. It's crazy.
I laugh and I think this is something that we all probably could feel is like, that was just another chapter of my book.
Exactly. That's a perfect way when I'm like, it feels like different lifetimes, different chapters of the same book that's said perfectly.
I will have to say, I stalked you last night. And so
Well done.
I did.
Yeah.
I did my homework. First of all, I can't get over your athleticism. When at what age?
Let's start from the first chapter.
I want to start in chapter 1 because I was just telling Sarah, my mom was a softball player. I was the worst softball player ever. And she wanted me so badly to be athletic. I wasn't. I'm a theater dancer. We'll just say that. We'll just say that. That's as far as the
She was
athleticism
doing
goes.
spins in the field.
That's it. When did it kick in for you? Because it's honestly, it's like watching an acrobat. It's like watching someone dance. How beautiful and strong you are, and how you just whiz through these things. Tell me. When did it start?
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. It's funny because I started when I was very young. Our parents, me and my sister, were 2 years apart, and they put us into a lot of different things to kind of feel out what we liked best, which I really appreciate. So we were both in like gymnastics, dance, like, t-ball, soccer, like everything that you could try. And my 2 favorites ended up being soccer and gymnastics. So then, I did play like t-ball for a little bit, and I did dance. Me and my sister have cute little recital photos and things like that, but I mostly liked gymnastics and soccer. And then it got to the point where they started getting in the way of each other, like the practices, one or the other. And I kind of had to choose. In gymnastics, I loved it. I don't know if I was just one of those kids that like when you're at home, you're bouncing off everything and your parents are like, okay, this would be good for you. And I just loved it there. I fell in love with it. I don't know. I'm the opposite. I'm not very good like you at the artsy dance stuff. So I don't know if it was like gymnastics was the perfect mix kind of getting to be crazy, bouncing off the walls, but then also it had its graceful moments. So I started when I was like 5 years old, like very, very young. So before I can even honestly remember why it happened. And then, as I've been able to do it my whole life, I've just kept falling
I
in
was
love
thinking
with
she
it.
was doing like Ninja Warrior out of the crib.
That's what I
like
was
doing
thinking.
a full handstand.
I was like, you were the baby out of the crib that was like
Yes.
flip onto the.
And your mom's like, yep, we got to get her into gymnastics.
Totally.
We need to get her into.
Yes, we definitely have some stories like that, I'm sure. I know I've had a few scare stories from my parents where like I was doing something crazy. I remember like jumping from bed to bed, me and my sister, and I like did something and then hit the windowsill and like we had to tell my mom. Or I wanted bunk beds so bad when I was young, like I begged for bunk beds, and it was just because I would lean over the top bunk and like there were bars like underneath the top bed. So when you were in the bottom bed, there were like little bars. So I would like crawl over the top one and grab the bottom ones and like flip down.
Yeah, no,
and then
it was
natural.
It's natural.
I did that, and like I didn't realize that when I flipped down, it would like I would hit my face on the ball. So then I had to, So my parents have endured many, mistaken childhood injuries of us being like, I don't know what happened.
That
And
is
they're
a
like
God-given
flipping out.
talent.
Yeah, see, these are like these dreams of me. Like I would be like, oh, I'm going to be a gymnast, and then I would try to do something at home, like a stunt, and I was like, knock the breath out, and I'd be like, no, don't try that again.
No, just the thought of having bunk beds. I never wanted bunk beds because I was like, I can't go that high. Like the height of that alone, actually, my knees start to shake.
That's fair. That's very fair.
All right, so you start with gymnastics, which takes a lot of obviously athleticism, but also the discipline. So I was thinking about even like your accomplishments with American Ninja Warrior. I was like, it's such a head game though as well. Like it's not just physical strength; it's talking yourself through all this. Can you talk about that, the strength mentally to accomplish these things?
Definitely. I think if I had gone into American Ninja Warrior and didn't have my background of competitive gymnastics, it would have been a lot different for me because, going on to American Ninja Warrior, A, it's a competition, and B, it's a TV show. So not only are you competing and needing to do your best in that moment physically, but there's also lights and cameras and people and noises and you're outside and there's so many factors that competing in gymnastics for my whole life. I did it, Division 1 in college. I got to compete for gymnastics as well. So at least I got those loud crowds, cameras, lights, things like that, where you kind of learn how to still focus on what's in front of you, even though there's so much noise happening around you. So I feel like that really prepared me a lot. And mentally, it's so, so tough. I mean, just like anything that we do, with Ninja Warrior, it was different because with gymnastics, at least, yes, I might have done it 100 times, but when I go out there, it's still, very mentally challenging to be able to do exactly what you want to. But at least with gymnastics, my things that I had done, I had practiced them. I knew exactly what the balance beam felt like. I knew how big it was. I knew what move I was supposed to do. And even though it might not be perfect every time, at least I know I had done it and I was capable of it. But when it came to American Ninja Warrior, I'm stepping out on those obstacles and I've never been on them before. So even if you don't know what they're going to be until you get there. So even though there are some staples that you're going to see, like the warped wall was going to be at the end, and even though I had been to some gyms that had tried to remake some obstacles, you don't know the specs. You don't know exactly what it's going to be like, and you don't know what obstacle you're going to get. So now I'm standing out there. You have all the nerves. You're physically like, okay, can I do this? And now I'm looking and I'm like, I've never done this specific thing before.
Yeah.
So it's a different mind game of stress of not only can I do it at this moment, but can I do it at all? And I think that that's when the confidence kicks in
Yeah.
of, with Ninja, you just have to be ready to adjust and be prepared for anything. So I think that's the beauty and the fun of why people love watching it, but it does add an extra layer of stress to being out there and doing it.
I mean, I have to know something. All right, so
She's getting itchy.
I'm like itchy.
You're like, oh, this strength. I'm nervous now thinking about you.
When you were describing and you were like, oh, we get there and we don't know what the elements and what the challenges could be. All I kept thinking was, I don't know if you remember this, either of you, but in school, you had to do like...
She's going back in time.
Remember in gym class Remember in gym
trauma
class
for sure.
where you had this is fully my trauma. Gym class where you had to do all right, you had to run around a certain amount of laps and you got the presidential award, you got this award in gym.
Yeah.
I always got honorable mention because I could, first of all, the running was never going to happen. And then you had to climb the rope. It was like everyone had to do the same
Sit-ups,
thing.
push-ups.
And you didn't know what was coming, but we kind of practiced. But I was so nervous. My hands were so sweaty. I was the worst. So I know you are probably a little nervous. You don't know what's coming. Your confidence kicks in. Are your hands sweaty? Or you're just like, I got this?
Can it be sweaty? You would You would
I don't
slip
even
and
know.
slide.
I would die. I would clearly die.
No, you would just go splashing into the water.
I wouldn't be invited back.
Well, I've splashed in the water so many times. Everyone has, honestly. So that's, you wouldn't be alone in that. But it's almost like in the moment you have no choice, in my opinion, but to fake it till you make it. So it's not that it's like, oh, this confidence just showers over me and I'm so calm. No, it's like, okay, I'm freaking out. I turn around and I'm like, okay, I have no other option except to tell myself that I can do this and just do the very best that I can. So for me, you're looking at the course, you're standing up there, you're waiting because they do a little like 3, 2, 1 beep, like when they tell you to
the
go.
anxiety of that alone.
Yeah. Well, it has to be timed, so like you have to follow all these things. So you're standing up there, you do your whole ritual, and then you're like waiting for the beep, and then it doesn't happen yet because they have to do something, and then you're like, okay, yeah, I got that. And my big thing, honestly, and I still did this in wrestling, gymnastics, ninja, everything. I turn my back to like whatever is stressing me out, like the course, the ring, anything, and I take like a really big deep breath, and then I'm just like, you got this.
Are your parents like in the audience like this? Like I feel like God. I would be closing my eyes and like, oh God, did she get it? Did she make it? Did she make it? Like I'm the worst.
Yes. I think they also got some experience in gymnastics. Luckily, my family was very supportive. They were always at my competitions. They were always there to support me. So they got the nerves, and I'm sure they would tell you they still get it every single time as well. But at least they had some experience where they've watched me compete. They've watched me fall. They've watched me win. They've watched me fail. So I think that they kind of know I'll be okay no matter what, and I know they'll be proud no matter what, but they get the nerves and everything as well.
As we're talking about this, I can't help but think this kind of strength is like a psychology of life.
Yes.
Like all of these, watching your child fail but come back up and succeed, or even just you mentally preparing yourself for all the success you've had. But sometimes there's hiccups or unexpected, as we all know in the businesses that we're in. It's amazing how gymnastics has prepared you like in life. I feel like. Do you agree? Like, I admire you because I remember the first time I met you because I knew the Jersey girl. I was magnetic to you. But I also knew as I spoke to you, your intelligence and your strength shine through. And I admire that in you.
God, Thank you. My parents, I'll have to tell my parents you said that. They will be very happy to hear that. But no, I feel just very lucky and grateful to have the young childhood that I did have that kind of brought me into my adulthood, because not only gymnastics, but definitely my family and my support system, even with gymnastics, it was never that I had to do this or I had to win, or there was never this pressure or this, feeling scared from the outside. And I think that helped me learn all of those things along the way where, I'd come back from a competition and I did really great, or I came back and I fell. And how do we deal with that? And I know, my parents and my family really helped shape that in me, where I know that I can do these really hard things. And that's where that kind of confidence comes from, even if I don't know it in the moment, or even if the nerves are kind of, overshadowing it. I know that I have it because I've done really hard things and I've succeeded at them. But I also, at every single thing that I've done, I have failed and fallen many, 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 many times. But knowing that I can always come back from it, and I always have come back from it, and it doesn't change the really good things that I've done, that has helped me through my life. Because anything that I've done along the way, or anything that we try to do in our life, there's nothing that you are not going to fail at, and it's very easy to be like, well, I tried and that's it. Nobody's going to wrong you for it. But you'll never really reach what your possibilities are if you don't just kind of endure that and know that you can keep making those steps up. So for me, I'm just so grateful that I've had my experiences, but my support system that I've had along the way is invaluable in that.
I love that. I mean, I'm guessing from the last name you come from an Italian family. Is that right?
Yes. So obviously on my dad's side, Catanzaro, yes, Italian. I'm German, Irish, a few other little things. So yes, very close family.
Because I'm envisioning you do a course and there's 60 Italians in the audience screaming for you, or my mother would be hiding. But I'm just picturing your family support. But I love that you talk about your family in such a beautiful light, because I don't think a lot of people have that consistently for so long, that support. And so I'm so glad that you have that. And I do think, like you said, that's a part of your success. That's a part of many people's successes. But I wonder, is there a technique to what you do? Meaning, is there a specific way you train? Do you just go to the gym? I'm confused.
I think they have courses that you can do.
Can you
Yeah, how did you get from gymnastics to
saying?
ninja?
Okay, so yes, that's a very good question. So, back from chapter 1, started gymnastics, 5 years old. did it for 18 years. I went all through my life, high school, graduated, I got a scholarship to a Division I college, did gymnastics there for 4 years. So now if you're looking at all of my chapters up to that point, all I have known ever is gymnastics physically in my life. There's always something I'm training for. I go to the gym. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know what date my next competition is,
Right.
and I'm like preparing for it. Now that happens for my whole life. Now I graduate college. How old are you? 21 years old.
Yeah.
I had gotten a surgery on my ankle to kind of fix up some injuries now that I was finished with gymnastics. And I remember I'm laying on the couch, I have my cast on, and I'm, recovering. But I'm slightly, as much as a 21-year-old can be, going through some sort of identity crisis
Yeah.
because now I'm like, what the heck am I going to do with my life?
Yeah.
All I've ever done physically is gymnastics. I always had a challenge. And now I'm kind of like, well, you can't really like recreationally do gymnastics. I guess you can, but like for example, my mom, she plays on like a softball team recreationally right now. She played when she was younger. They go out, they have fun, they get a little there's no like recreational gymnastics for fun as
Right.
you kind of outgrow it.
No, and I'm sure people threw at you. You could teach, and you're like, "Do I?
Am
I
I
don't
there?
Want to.
Am
I don't
I there
know if
yet?
Yeah.
And so I was laying there, I'm kind of like in my feels, and I always watched Ninja Warrior growing up. Like my dad would yell upstairs, like, "Case, guess what's on?" And we would always watch Ninja Warrior. It was so much fun.
Oh, that's adorable.
And so I'm watching Ninja Warrior now on TV, and I'm laying here in a cast, and they just keep saying like, no woman's ever completed the course. Like every time a girl gets up on the stand, they're like, well, no woman's ever made it up the warp wall. No woman's
Oh
ever
my
completed the course.
gosh.
Like, will she be the one?
It was
Will she be the
calling
one?
you.
Yeah, it was calling you.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there like, man, I don't want to be one of those people that sits on the couch and is like, I could do this, because that's not what it was. But in my head, I'm like, wow, maybe I could be good at this. Like, I'm thinking of my gymnastics background and the obstacles and, kind of my strengths. And I'm like, wow, I wonder if I could try this. I in no way was like, I'm going to be the first girl. I didn't have that much confidence. But I was like, wow, they're looking for women.
Yes.
I need a new challenge. Maybe this is something I can do. And back then, it was a lot easier to sign up and do things like that because there weren't as many people trying to sign up. It wasn't quite as big yet. So I get on and I'm like searching up the top ninjas that I'm watching. And again, to the point of how much more accessible it was, is I'm like able to message the people on the show and be like, I saw you on the show. Like, this is so
Oh my
cool. How do you get
God.
involved? Like, it was just so different
Yeah.
back then. And so, got some info and learned how to sign up. And I actually was able to, there was a business in Texas that was an obstacle course business that was like up and coming, that was looking for some people to get involved. And so I was able to like move to Texas and start training at this gym that was newly opening there to kind of prepare. But it was really scary because I had just graduated college, and I kind of just told my parents like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm gonna drive and move to Texas. I don't know anybody there. I'm gonna get like $500 a month to like
yes.
just
Oh
try
my
to
God, sounds
live
like theater.
here.
Basically, you did the actor
to
thing.
Yeah.
Moved to LA.
dream. And they're like, well, like,
Wow.
can we have anyone's phone number? Like, who are you gonna live with? Like, are
Yeah.
you okay? Like, it was just this really big, scary jump, but I knew that that's the next challenge I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so that's how I kind of started it. And then these obstacle course gyms, again, now they're incredible. Like, anywhere that you are, you can find an obstacle course gym now, and they're really, really cool. Again, back then they were kind of up and coming. Not everybody had gyms. They were just, I don't know how they did it back then. They were just showing up,
Oh my God.
killing these obstacles, and I don't know how they did it.
Jeez.
But now it's a little bit different. So I was training on as many obstacles as I could that we thought looked like ones we had seen in the past. And my first season, I went on, I did really well. And actually, this is one of my favorite stories. I made it to the obstacle right before the last one. So the warped wall is the biggest obstacle. I believe it's the sixth obstacle. And no woman had made it up the warp wall or finished the course. And I made it to the one right before, which is common for when, like, women had made it to, very close or even maybe to the wall and not been able to complete it. And I made it to the one right before, and I slipped off. And I was bummed because I wanted to finish it. And I'll never forget this guy. And I wish that I say I'll never forget, but I don't remember who it was. I just remember the interaction.
Yeah.
Right.
And I wish I did remember because I want to say like thank you. But I believe that he thought he was saying something nice. And I was upset that I, fell. And he goes just like this to me. He says, "You shouldn't be upset. You did really good for a girl." Because the girls never make it,
Yeah.
like in his mind, from experience, from watching, the girls never finish.
Yeah.
So everybody's mind watching, this was good for a girl. The girls if you get to the last obstacle and you get there quick enough, like you'll be a top girl there, And so he's like, "You did really good for a girl." And I was like, "Thanks."
Yeah.
And then I like walked away and I was like, I didn't feel any type of way towards him, which is why I don't remember who it was. But it started something in me that was like, I want to change that.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be a sentence that the end of it is for a girl. And I think that we can, talk to that in all of our different aspects of life, in all of the businesses we've been in all of the things that we've done, is that I don't want it to be that way, And so I went back. Who knows? I'm not saying I wouldn't have come back the next season. I think I would have, but it just lit this extra fire of like, I don't want that to be something you can say at the end of the sentence to me or anybody. I want it to just be like, "You did great," or "Hey, you'll get it," whatever. It shouldn't be that that's the excuse that we're using. And so I went back, trained a full year and came back the next season and made it up the warp wall, was the first woman to do it. And I'll never forget being like, "Yeah, you can't say that anymore. Like, we can do it. Us women can keep up with you." And if you watch the clip of me making it up the second course, like the longer course that I made it, when I hit the buzzer, I say to the camera, like, "Ladies, you got this. Like, you can do this." Like, I remember being like, "We can do this," So
Oh my
it's
God.
just, really cool.
There was multiple things in that entire story.
You broke
that
the glass ceiling.
Yeah, exactly. I remember for me, it was in the 90s when the World Cup team, the Women's World Cup, when Brandi Chastain won and she ripped off her top and she was in her sports bar and she ran and she slid on her knees, and it was the cover of magazines and stuff. And I met her and I sobbed. And I've met people, but like what that athlete meant to me and I get emotional even thinking about it. What it said to me as a kid. Like, that's the power that you have, which is like, do you feel that in such a uplifting, beautiful, exciting way I know you have nieces? I feel like you have.
Yes. Yeah.
So like what you get to represent to women is so powerful that they could see what you can accomplish. And I know that for me, that Brandi Chastain was that person not just sports, in everything in life.
It's a full-on role model in every aspect, right? And now it's like the baseline is not what a guy does, and then the women are underneath it. It's almost like this is all humans, and you did that. That's wonderful.
Yeah, thank you. It's funny because sometimes, like I said, it doesn't hit me because I'm just like living my normal life. And then, a person will come up to me, or I'm somewhere and someone will tell me their story and they'll be like, "Yeah, I remember watching you and it made me want to do this." Or even, women that are on the show now, I've gotten the chance to go back recently and there are full-grown women that are like, "I am doing this because I watched you," and was like, "Oh, women can do this." And I'm like, I'll cry. I was like, "Oh my God," like this recent time that I got to go back and see everybody, it'd been years and years. And there are women that are kicking ass on the course, like doing amazing. And they're like, "Oh yeah, I started because I watched you." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that was 10 years ago." Like, these are full grown adults in the world, showing out and doing amazing. And they were like, now I know I can do it. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that's crazy." Like,
you're like, "I did that." Yes, you did.
And Kacy, you continue to show off and show out in sports entertainment. That's how you and I know each other. How did you transfer into WWE? And then also, like, I always want to understand how someone as an athlete and gymnast, it's very protective of your body, to then get in the ring and then have the physical stress or like contact, pardon me. Just tell me about the evolution that went into WWE. Because we met at the Performance Center in Orlando years ago, 7 years ago or so.
Yeah, it had to be. I mean, I was there almost 8 years with WWE.
I think we started about the same time.
Yes, I think so too. So for it's funny because I watched WWE growing up. You know, my sister and I, we loved it. We would play around. But again, back then, there weren't as many women that we were able to see that were given the chance to really show out like the men were. You know what I mean? The women weren't given the opportunity like they are now, which is another incredible thing to see. But so watching, you know, I'm smaller, I'm a girl. I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to do this. I just thought that they were these larger than life, not real superhero people that were on my TV. So I enjoyed it, but it was never my goal. So growing up, you know, I went through my chapters, I did gymnastics, I did Ninja Warrior. I was still competing on American Ninja Warrior when WWE came to me and they wanted me to do Tough Enough, the TV show. And because you don't think of it that way, but technically American Ninja Warrior is a reality competition show,
Yeah.
and Tough Enough is as well. So like I was still competing for Ninja Warrior. I couldn't do another show like that at the time. And they were like, okay, if anything changes, you know, we'll check back. And they came back the next year and said the same thing. And I was still competing and I wasn't really ready to let it go yet. And they were like, okay, well, if you want, that was the time that they were doing the Mae Young Classic. And it was the very first one. And they were like, it's an all women's tournament. We think that you would love it from everything that you do. You know, no pressure. You don't have to do the TV show, but we'd love to bring you here and just see what we're doing and see if you'd be interested in coming to the performance center then instead of doing the show. And I was like, okay, cool. Yeah. Like I love WWE. I love things that are all women and things that are, you know, supporting that. So I got to go and watch that. It was very cool. And it was a really hard decision for me because honestly, I didn't know if I was finished with American Ninja Warrior yet. I had been there for 5 seasons and that's a long time. But I was like, man, am I ready to like let this go? And also, it's almost like you know when you're in like middle school and you're like the oldest at middle school and then you go to high school and you're like the youngest?
Yes.
It's like, man, am I ready for that jump where like I'm a veteran at American Ninja Warrior now?
Yeah.
Like I know everyone. I don't, you know, when I show up, I know who to say hi to. Everybody knows who I am. I've competed there. You know, I have this veteran status there. Am I ready to kind of start over
Right.
at this new thing?
Very
at,
humbling,
what,
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
at like age 28 or whatever I was at the time, you know, I'm like, man, do I really want to start over? And it took me a while to decide. I think from the first time that WWE contacted me till the time that I actually set foot starting at the Performance Center was like 2.5 years later.
I
It
think
was
that's
like,
wonderful that you like
Gave
took
yourself that time.
Yeah, and then like the mental, so I'm going to say the mental gymnastics of sitting there going,
Well said.
well said, sitting there going, okay, I need this time. I don't know if I'm ready. I'm going to be the little fish in the big pond and all these things. But yet to then take that leap is huge because I do think everyone reaches a point in their career where they're like, wait, I'm either going to stay here and live in the comfortable pond, which is nice. It feels good.
Yeah.
But then it's like, no, I have to do the next thing.
And also in the entertainment industry, you don't get the comfort pond very long.
Not as much.
No.
No.
You know, you don't get 5 seasons.
No.
You're like,
5
you get a
seasons.
pilot and you get like and then you're like, oh gosh. Yeah, it's rare.
yeah.
I'm glad you did it. That's so wonderful that you were able to take that leap.
Thank you. And yeah, it was tough, you know, when the first time I knew like I'm not going to do the reality show. So that was a whole nother year that I didn't think much of it. And then when they came back, I was like, oh, okay, I'll go see this thing. Then even though when I went to visit and I knew that it would be something I'm interested in, I still wanted to finish out the competition in the season that I was doing with Ninja Warrior that year to not get, you know, so then that took some time. I wanted to be able to fully train for that. I didn't want to come and start this new thing and give half-ass to finishing up my season there. So, you know, I really did take my time and feel like I had that send off and that kind of closure with that.
Yeah.
And then starting WWE. And it was scary because, I mean, it's incredible, but also I had never done a contact sport, like you were saying earlier with the physicality. You know, everything I did, gymnastics, ninja, everything depended on me and myself, and I was in full control of it. And if I messed up and fell, that was on me. Nobody was going to drop me. Nobody was going to kick me.
Right.
Nobody was going to throw me over the, like, it was all me. And yes, I've had injuries and the things I've done are very dangerous. But trusting that other person or work, I've never had that before. I've never had the contact. And so that was very scary for me, on top of also just the physicality of the sport in general with wrestling, you know? So it was a huge transition for me. And feeling all those things again, feeling like, okay, I'm small, I'm a girl, I'm this, I'm
Yeah.
that, and feeling like those things that will hold you back. It's like I built that up so many years and that confidence, but it's like starting in a new place like that, it felt like it was at zero again.
Yeah, well, you were a two-time women's tag team champion as Katana Chance and Kayden Carter.
Mhm.
Katana. Sorry, I
Yes.
apologize. Katana Chance.
Funny.
How did you come up with that name?
So it's funny because, okay, so when I thought of wrestling and I was coming there to start, I kind of was getting so excited to have this character that I was like, oh my gosh, okay, it's like on TV and I get to be a character and play this role, and that's really cool. And then I got there and they were like, no, we want you to keep your name.
Right,
Like, you're known from this. So then I was like, okay. And then I loved having my name. Like, it was
right,
amazing to have my name. So I got so used to that. So then it was like, 3, 4 years in even that
right.
I had my name the whole time. And then they were like, oh, okay, we're changing everybody's names. And I was like, man, like now I've been this. And I was like, okay, well, now I get the chance to kind of start this character. But I really wanted to keep my initials the same
Yeah.
because I still wanted to be able to have like KC
Yeah,
and feel it's like a part of me because I had
right.
done it for so
That's
long.
smart.
And also, they were like, you have been your own name for this long and people knew you before this, that it kind of felt like I needed a name that was like not just a normal name. So I use my sister's name as an example because I said a name one time and somebody was like, "Oh, that's a bad name." I'm like, "No. I love my sister's name. Her name is Jess." But I'm just saying, to go from people knowing who I am and being Casey and then being like, "Okay, and this is Jess." And they'd be like, "Why is her name Jet?" Like,
Right,
why?
right. No, no, I agree. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, yeah.
And I love Jet. I love Jess's name. It's perfect. But it's not weird enough
And it's
to
not
Mhm.
make
you. Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I want a K name and I want a name that's not quote unquote normal or common, I'll say.
Yeah,
And I just started looking up K names. Like I was like,
yeah,
okay, what are And when I found Katana, I was like, okay, this is like very ninja-y and it's not
yeah.
a common name. So I was like, okay, Katana works. And then for the last name, I wanted something also that could be used in like a promo or in a catchphrase or something
Yeah,
that
give me
again
a
is a
chance.
name but not like a normal name. So
Yeah,
Chance, I was like, okay, I always wanted to, and I had pitched like doing almost like a talk show thing where it was like, a chance with Katana or something like,
yeah.
here's your chance to like say something or, take your chance, something with chance that like I felt could be in a catchphrase or could be used in something. So it was kind of just this weird form. And then they came together and I wanted them to be KC. And so, yeah, some people hated it, some people loved it. I was like, okay, if I have to change, I'm happy with this,
Yeah.
but I'm happy to have my name back now.
Well, you had a absolutely impressive, extraordinary career at WWE. I am grateful to have connected with you, but I want to talk about like what was one of your favorite memories or outstanding moments that you just will never forget with the company?
Ooh, oh my gosh, I'm sure there's so many. I would say one of the ones that really sticks with me a lot is our debut on the main roster, and
Yeah.
we got to wrestle Ronda and Shayna.
Wild.
And it was really cool because it was our debut and we lost, which like the point that this is one of my favorite moments and we lost goes to show you that like it really doesn't matter if you win or lose. It was really the moment that we got to go out there with these veterans out there. And I remember Rhonda just like really fighting for us as women in that moment to like
Yeah.
get the time out there and really make the story of the match. And we had a promo before with them and seeing her really fight for that and for the women to have this moment. And we're new going up there. She could have been like, okay, yeah, like we'll have 2 minutes, whatever. Like she really fought for us to have a good showing out there, have a good story, good moments. Getting to be out there in front of the crowd and having that moment with these two veterans was one of my favorite moments for sure. And then obviously, winning the titles was very exciting as well. But it just goes to show you the wins and losses, like that can give or take. It's really like the deeper moments in there, and that will always stick with me. Yeah, it's so funny because it's really like I do feel like my chapters have almost always overlapped even. Like I almost have always known like, okay, when I'm leaving this, right, I'm choosing this next thing to do. And I think it's just part of, I don't like just sitting. I like having that challenge. I love I love doing the work. And so it worked out really perfectly that with American Ninja Warrior, they were doing a season this season of, past history and things with Ninja. So, they have some funny ones where it's like best wipeouts and things like that, but also just like looking back on the Ninja history. And so when they had asked me, I wasn't able to compete at the time that we filmed it, but they were like, we'd love you to, but if you're not able to, we'd love you to be involved in some fashion because it's a really big season and you're a big part of the history. And I was like, oh my gosh, I would love that. Like, even if I can't compete, I'd love to be there. And so I got to go up in the booth with Matt and Akbar and do some like commentary. And I got to do commentary for one of my favorite girls, which is Jessie Graff. I've been competing with her, almost all of my seasons that I was there. I competed with her, and she was always the person that I was like, oh man, Jessie's here. Like, she's going to crush it. I need to be on top of my game. She is just incredible. And so they did it where they were doing side-by-side races, and I got to watch Jessie Graff. And then one of the newer girls, Isabella, who is one of the girls that I was saying where you're like, they just pop out of nowhere and they're just like keeping up with these veterans. And so to be able to commentate on that run and just see it from such a different view of like, I still was getting that nervous, giddy feeling, but I wasn't competing. It was so exciting to be back in that environment and see everyone and just get to experience that again, that community and everything. I had definitely missed it. And so it was really fun to be a part of that. And, you never know. I was like, okay, maybe I'll have to put some training in. I didn't want to compete without training because everybody is killer amazing. And I'm like, I'm not going to pop up here and be like, I'll just give it a try. So, something I have to think about, but I also really enjoyed being in a different position up there and getting to watch it and enjoy it and share it through, my view and through my words instead of competing.
I was going to say, what is the next steps for you and what do you see for the next couple of years? A little birdie told me you're engaged, but
Oh, yes! And she's engaged.
Like a month, like 3. Is it a month even? Like
oh my goodness!
So newly engaged.
So now, how many people are coming up to you and saying, "When's the wedding? When you planning?"
Oh
my God, it's so funny because literally it's been happening so often, and then people will be like, even if a random person says something and they're like, "Oh yeah, when's?" I'm like, "Oh, it was like a week ago at this time." I'm like, "Oh, it was like a week ago." They're like, "Okay," and I'm very funny like when people start talking about it and then I'm like, oh yeah, maybe we'll like this or this, and then I'm like, or we're gonna just like elope and then party with everybody because I don't want to deal with anything.
Chad and I have been engaged for now nearly 3 years, and it's like life has brought us in this crazy journey, and that's been us too. Like, do we just go? We go alone.
I love a good wedding.
I know she had one of the best weddings ever.
I do, but
so I would say this is my answer for me is like, I've known my career, what I've been driven after for so long that when like I love, and I think you're a hopeless romantic. You love too. Yes. But like I never planned wedding or like that's not the stuff I visualized. And so for me, that's hard.
And I also get just eloping because that sounds really nice too. Like, I'll be honest, planning is a headache.
I'm like hopeless, love, romantic, everything. Like I am like mushy, annoying, all of it. But for me, none of that was ever like have 200 people and that's romantic. And that's like kind of the opposite for me. So whenever I start thinking about it and I'm like, okay, even let's play with thinking about it and this idea and this, and then I'm like, okay, then there'd be this, and then if it's this, then this person, then this, then okay, you need this and that, and I'm like,
wow,
well, do I need
No, it is stressful. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So I'm like verging on, one day we might just, have our special moment, do it, and then go and party with everyone. We have people in different states.
Completely.
Our families are all over, so I'm like, we might do that and just go party with everyone. We'll see. So one day I might just pop up married and be like, here we are.
That's what my
Sarah, don't be popping up married and you didn't tell me.
Well, I don't know if my mother would forgive me if I popped up just married. I said it by mistake. I said, oh, that's where we're chatting. I got married. My brother was like, wait, you're married already? And I was like, I meant engaged. I meant engaged.
Oh gosh, that is a big slip. Yeah, no.
Well, we are just so happy you were able to join us
We would
today.
talk to you all day.
And you do represent so much of I know for me, you inspire me. And also just so well spoken. Please go do TED Talks and motivational
I was thinking
speaking.
that too.
You're so good, but also commentary is like a natural flow in something you're an expert at. So I just think
you didn't
you
say,
have so much more to do, and I'm excited to watch it happen.
She didn't say or anything once.
You're
gonna be a dream to edit. I was like,
what
oh
a
my
dream.
God.
She's sitting about editing. I don't need to edit you.
Something that I'm working on, actually, so I'm glad you said that. Something I'm working on is not saying or like, because I do it off. I have done it very often.
You didn't do it at all. It was wonderful.
But I think that you guys are really comforting. And then also I have watched it back in other scenarios where it's maybe a rushed interview or something and I'm talking and then I say like a lot and I'm like, man, I don't like that. So I'm working on it. So I'm glad you said that. So thank you. And I'm so happy that we met in our journeys, and now I'm so happy that I've met you, and
you're a doll.
We've got to keep
truly right.
Yeah, you could probably kick my ass, but you're a doll.
She definitely could kick both our butts.
Yeah, but oh my God, you're just a little bundle of joy. Speaking of joy, what gives you happiness? We always love to ask our guests.
This is that's usually our wrap up for our episodes. What is your happiness this week?
Yes, what's yours? Anything.
I love that. For me, it's really my family and my people and who, is the core. I was actually just talking to this about my fiance because, being in a transition where I was doing this for 8 years, now I'm transitioning into something new. And you're kind of like where you feel that little bit of lost and you're like, okay, I was doing this. and I've made that leap a lot of times. So I know that I can do it. It just still gets to you a little bit. And I was just saying to my fiance, Newfall, the other day, you know what? As much as those things might be shaky, I am so grateful that the things that are really important in life, I have, and I have so securely that I could not be more thankful. I have my fiance and our dog. I could not be more happy in my personal life.
It is.
Parents, my family, my sisters, my uncle. I have so many people that I think of people that they have their career path and they do it for their whole entire life and they have it and they never have to question anything. And I'm like, I wouldn't give that up. I wouldn't give up what I have to have just the security of knowing what I'm doing at all times.
Yeah.
I'm like, I am so grateful with the joy of I will sit in with my family, with my people and do absolutely nothing and just be like, this is what it's about,
Oh, I
beautiful.
love that.
And I agree.
Thank you so much for being here with us and kick ass tonight.
Yay, thank you guys so much.
We'll see you soon, hopefully. Mwah, mwah. Best of luck with everything.
Kisses. Thank you. Love
Thanks
you.
again.
Bye, love.
Love you. How extraordinary is she? Because that's the thing that as you watched her, right, and listened to her speak,
yes,
you can understand her strength. And did you understand what I was saying? How she's able to accomplish things like Ninja Warrior and gymnastics and WWE. But her brain is so smart and so grounded.
Yes, she doesn't do what I think a lot of people do, which is sit in the failure, sit in the insecurity. She's like, okay, that happened, let me move on. And that's sort of, to me, you pointed it out really early on in the conversation, which was, this is a good mental exercise. This is a good way to just look at life, right? Mm-hmm. Those obstacles and those courses, you hit the water, you got to get back, you try it again, you get back up, and you keep getting back up, which is such a good preparation for real life.
Right.
It's not just about the course. So I think that's why she's so mentally good in that way.
The course of life. And we talked about chapters, just like you and I, when we lived in California or we worked for this company or whatever we might do in our lives, it comes and goes, but you have to allow yourself to go with the flow, feel things, right? But no, you're able to do it again. Yeah. I think it gets harder as we get older, because you've talked to me about Sarah, okay, where are you at this point? I said, I went back to grad school because I had to rethink what my next chapter could be and what it looks like.
Brave, right?
And I said to you, I think even last week or 2 weeks ago, my chapter might be even more just talking about what Kacy said, is building my family,
Yeah, I
building
love that.
my home, because I've been so independent for so long
yeah.
that I didn't build that yet.
Yeah, and you're like,
right?
I'm doing it now.
Yeah.
I think there's nothing wrong. And I think society teaches us or pushes on us that certain things need to happen at certain times in our lives. And we're like, wait, I'm supposed to build a family at this age and supposed to have my career at this age. And I actually totally disagree with that, because now that, I'm living where I'm living and you're living what you're living and we're doing what we're doing, I'm like, oh, wait, if I would have done what I'm doing right now at 20, it would have been a freaking hot mess.
And look at us living.
Look at us living. Sarah, what's your happiness,
Oh,
Sarah?
I know. I was thinking about it. You go first.
Okay, so I feel like I
prepped it, and then I went
You
out
had a busy
the window.
weekend too. So here's my happiness. I took my husband and I took Maverick to see Circus Soleil water show.
Yeah.
It is phenomenal. We had so much fun. My child sitting there, when I first got there, I was like, oh no, I just connected. It's dark in here. It's loud. I was like, is he going to start to cry? Like, I didn't understand, because it gets really loud with the speakers.
Yeah.
I was like, how loud is it going to get?
Oh, you didn't do the headphone things.
I bring them, and he slaps them off every time.
So you do bring them. I saw a service dog wearing them one time at a WWE event.
That's interesting. I bring them just to be a good mom. I'm bringing it. I have it for my son. And
visually, if you didn't have it, then we'll all be
I'm
like,
judging.
She didn't bring her headset for the kid.
So I put it on his head, and he knocks it off. He does not want it on. So I'm like, okay, here we go. It's loud. And it wasn't that loud. Yeah. And my God, were these people talented. In the air, doing acrobats, standing on things that should not be standing on, and balancing. It was wonderful. And then you add water. It was insane.
So
you had a
I've
good
told
time.
you one of my favorite shows of all time. You know how I feel about the Bellagio. We've spoken about the Bellagio
love
fountains.
The water.
Cirque du Soleil is one of the most sensational live performances I have ever experienced.
I gotta take my kid.
I've taken myself.
Really?
When I go to work in Vegas, I've seen it 2 times, and I'll go see it again. They built this theater for this specific show, and the floor will become a full swimming pool where they can dive from the tippy top.
Oh, wow.
And there's snorkelers underneath the water that give them oxygen while they're doing all these tricks.
That's
and at the
insane.
end, so they'll dance on the stage, and then the actual stage will drop down.
That's
and then
what
they're
this
doing
stage did. It lifted up and dropped down, but not
But this
like
is on the move.
Not like this. I got to see this.
So that's the thing where Kacy was even talking about, which I always think about with WWE, because you and I get it, especially right now, with acting and performance, relying on somebody else. Right? Yes. If I drop a line, or if my brain, when I can't think of my happiness, I go to you and Candace, let's keep it going. And that's, even with her transitioning from her individual sports to then working in a ring with another person and saying, I trust you. You got me. Yeah. I think about Cirque du Soleil, and I think about, if I drop a line, the show goes on.
Yeah, it's bananas.
No, Cirque du Soleil, it's just, you're holding on to one. I think about those, you can't have a hiccup.
I actually close my eyes when they're in the air.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Are they going to fall? I don't know. That's so stupid that I say that. But I was literally like, I'm going to close my eyes.
Right.
And here's my kid watching and going, water. And I'm like, great, thank God, stare at the water.
Water.
But I was, water. He says it very long, very dramatic. But he had a great time. And those people were so talented. I give everyone so much credit. My back hurt after watching them. But some of them did look like good stretches. Tom leaned over and he was like, that looks like a good stretch. I was like, yeah, but are you going to do that 200 feet in the air? No. You're not, but it looked super awesome.
Should we pitch that to Kacy? Does she want to do Cirque du Soleil?
She could do anything. Huh. What's your happiness, Sarah? Give me one.
Yeah, why? I feel like I did so much this weekend.
You did a lot this weekend.
I feel like just basking in this beautiful weather.
You did some beach days.
It's not raining.
That is beautiful.
I don't know if I talked about this a while ago, but I feel like the last time I had a natural tan was circa 2001 in college.
You're getting very tan.
So I'm working on a natural tan.
With your tinfoil and your baby oil.
Not doing that. But we did a lot of convertible driving, the wind in our hair.
Wait, that's happiness. That's happiness.
Listen
to
good
wonderful
music.
Yep.
But yeah, just really enjoying these summer days, but also knowing Halloween's around the corner.
Everyone's talking about it.
I know, but it's still summer, guys.
It's summer. We're
gonna
stay with that.
Don't start about the fall. Oh, I know what I did. My happiness is, I don't know if you feel this. In fall, which we're not there yet,
right.
I always loved fall crushes.
Like on guys?
When it was the going back to school.
Oh, yes. That
so
feeling,
I turned to Chad the other night and I said, I always love the fall because it makes me think of fall crushes where you go like, whether it's apple picking or pumpkin, going to see pumpkins.
I love that.
And I turned and I said, I can't wait to fall crush on you because he's my forever crush.
That's
I look
right.
at him and he just like, he's the guy I have
He's
a
the
crush
crush,
on.
of course.
And he goes, I can't wait for fall waves.
What's that? In the ocean?
Surfing.
Oh my God. Shit.
So I'm excited for
I was like, what's that?
his waves.
Chad,
He goes, I didn't know who you were crushing on.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Don't even start.
I'll see you next time.
See ya.
Thanks for joining us today.
You can follow us on Instagram at Don't Start Podcast.
Or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
And we'll see you next time, friends.
Don't Start is produced by Anthony Street Productions.